Sup boys, Druid here, finally with a new class tuning, coming May 26th, not bad. Now, as some of you know, I've been playing a lot recently, completed all, elite sets, playing around 2.23s now, shuffle 2.4 plus, right? So, I do have some experience, and let's see of the meta, and let's see what changes do we have. If I sound a little funny, last night I was on a friend's birthday, you know how it is, so that's the reason why. Okay, let's get going. So what do we want to see for the Demon Hunter first, boys? Well, Havoc is just average, so we need some Havoc buffs. Devourer is super strong, so if it gets nerfed a little bit, that should be fine, right? Because it's kind of too strong right now. So let's see what we have. Demon Hunter. Havoc death sweep damage increased by 10%. Completely nice, I agree. We have a bug fix here where Blade Dance was not, matching the buff on death sweep. Okay, so we have some bug fix that's actually a big buff to Havoc. Okay, Aldraki Reaver glaive damage increased by 15%. Warblade's Hunger increased by 55%. Wounded Quarry now deals 30% of physical damage to your target of Reaver's Mark instead of 25. Very, very nice buffs, okay? Especially to Reaver, which is, in my opinion, the most fun version of Havoc, of Demon Hunter overall. So, pretty happy with this. What about Vengeance? Pretty much the same buffs to the Havoc. Reaver Glaive damage increased by 30%, Warblade Hunger damage increased by 55%, and Wounded Quarry it deals 25% of physical damage instead of 20% to your Reaver's Mark target. Okay, well, let's see if we have some PvP. We don't have any PvP changes, so this is for everything. Looking good. Pretty solid. I think Devourer could maybe, reduce damage slightly, 5% maybe, because it's doing a lot of damage. Outside of that, I think it's pretty nice. We don't have any DK changes, which is okay, I think. Okay, Frost DK is still niche, one-shotty. Unholy DK is doing really solid damage, but it's really squishy. So if it got some survivability, slightly buffs, I think there'll be a perfect spot for the Unholy DK. Okay, what do we have for Druid? Honestly, it's always the same with Druid, if Feral is like, it's just a skill issue with Feral, for me it is, for most of you guys, Feral is completely fine. Yeah, the 4% buff, very nice, so I agree with this. 4%, not too much, and that's it, because it's a tough class, right? Oh, we have some Death Knight. Okay, we'll check that later. Druid of the Claw, Ravage damage increased by 20% in PvP. Ravage is pretty ass in PvP anyway. No one plays Druid of a Claw. I tried it, it sucks, it doesn't feel good. So this does nothing. Elun's Chosen, Lunar Calling now increases Starfire damage by additional 20% in PvP. Again, Elun's Chosen is not the meta. It can work in BGs or whatever. So this can be some buff to maybe BGs. But in Arena, it's not gonna do anything. Unholy Sunline of Empiric Strike damage increased by 30%. Sunline is just really bad for Unholy. It does half the damage of the Riders, so this is pretty much worthless, right? We didn't see any changes here. Okay. Okay, we have some Evoker changes. For the Evoker, guys, Press, obviously the best healer in the game right now, so if it gets some nerf, no biggie, right? It's by far the best healer. Devastation, I think, actually needs some execution power. Like, the damage is completely fine, the toolkit is great, but just that execution power is too low. So if it got buffed there, I would be happy with that. For augmentation, it could be buffed, but not many players play that anyway, so it is what it is, Okay, what do we have here? All healing reduced by 5%. Nullifying Shroud reduced to 3 seconds from 4 seconds. Okay. Dream Breath instant healing reduced by 17%. Ooh, these are some rough nerfs, but honestly, I would say it's still gonna be top performing healer. And it was by far the best. So I think this is probably fair. And let's go next. We have the Hunter. Guys, you know me. Hunter is one of my mains. But BM is super strong right now. BM should slightly get nerfed because it's crazy good. Marksman is, you know, okay. Could slightly buffed in my opinion. Survival, again, niche, one shot. Like, what I like is not that one shot gameplay and then you're useless for the rest of 1 minute, right? So I'll tune down the burst and increase the consistent damage. Hunter's survival, takedown damage reduced by 25%, good. And damage of all spells increased by 6%, good. This is a good change, I completely agree with this. Okay, now we have Mage. Okay, well, we're gonna scroll. Arcane. All ability damage increased by 5%. Okay, so nothing applies to PvP, seems like. Arcane missiles damage increased by 10%, doesn't apply to PvP. Sun Fury, Burden of Power. Arcane blast damage bonus increased to 30% from 25%. Arcane pulse damage increased to 20% from 15%. This does apply to PvP, which is a nice solid buff. As I've seen, Arcane Mage, it's kind of 50-50 between Sun Fury and the Spellslinger. So this is a slight buff to guys playing Sun Fury. Okay, but Arcane is not in a great spot, right? What do we need for Mage? We need Frost Mage nerfs. I mean, I've been saying this for every single patch note. Arcane definitely can get buffed. Fire, I think, is in a good spot, very balanced. I wouldn't really buff it, but I wouldn't nerf it either at all. I think it's in a healthy spot. Maybe buff to some damage outside of the combustion, slight, but not too much. Okay. Pyroblast damage increased by 8% and not in PvP. Frostfire bolt damage increased by 5%, not in PvP. Okay. Frostfire bolt damage increased by, this is for Frost Mage now. Frostfire bolt damage increased by 5% and not in PvP. Duality. Pyroblast damage increased by 25%. This is for Frostfire Hero Talent Tree all, right? This is applied in PvP. Okay. Dual casting adept. Shatter damage bonus increased to 40% from 15. Huge buff. Applied in PvP. Heatsink. Flurry damage bonus increased to 25% from 10%. Applied in PvP. Blast radius comet. Storm damage bonus increased to 50% from 20%. Applied in PvP. Frost Mage is getting buffs. Okay, this is not the tree people are running. Yes, true. But I mean, these are big buffs. I don't know how bad Frostfire is, but these are big buffs. Will it make it work? I don't know. But maybe we have some nerfs in PvP section. We do not. We do not. Fireball and Frost Firebolt damage increased by 35% in PvP for Fire Mage. Meteor direct damage increased by 30% in PvP for Fire Mage. Okay, so Fire Mage is getting buffs, which is okay. You know, this Fireball is pretty much just outside of combust window. No one's gonna be really casting Fireball in so this is okay, I think. But what's not okay is Frost Mage avoiding nerf again. Like, what the fuck? I mean, guys, I'm playing a lot of trees. Every single second game is RMP. Like, there's always, every second game is Mage. And specifically Frost Mage. If it's Arcane, no problem. If it's Fire, no problem, bro. But, come on. You know? It's too much. Paladin. So, for Paladin, I think Holy is slightly one of the weakest healers, so I wouldn't be minding to get some buffs there. For Red is pretty good, like always, but I wouldn't say it's oppressive. Okay, it's just utility is crazy good, that's it, right? But the damage itself, yeah, the burst is high, but outside of the burst, not that great, right? So I wouldn't be, I mean, if we reduce burst slightly and buff some consistent damage, I would be fine with that. Prot Paladin, well, it's always good, right? It's just crazy toolkit. So, Retribution, Wake of Ashes now causes the next 3 holy power spending abilities to apply a Dawnlight instead of 2. So this is a buff to Herald. Okay, this is pretty decent buff, I would say. Endless Gleam extends Dawnlight's duration by an additional 0.5 seconds when Divine Storm strikes at least 2 Dawnlights. Whatever. But we have some nice buff to the Herald, which is, you know, why would you play Herald if Templar is just way better and you win games on burst? So I think this is completely fine. You know, this is completely fine. Let's see what we have in the PvP section. Holy, there we go. Divine Favor now reduces the mana cost of Holy Light by 30% instead of 10% in PvP. That's pretty decent. That's nice. Fix an issue that caused Denounce to not scale its damage with level or with buffs such as Avenging Wrath. Hey, I'm looking left, I'm talking, oh shit. Was I muted all the time? Thankfully I'm not, okay. Do not scale its damage with level or with buffs such as Avenging Wrath. This is about 90% increase to its baseline output. That's pretty good actually, okay. Protection, All damage reduced by 10% in PvP. God damn, okay. I mean, protection was... the burst was still solid, but outside of that, I mean, the damage is whatever, right? So, it's mostly utility. But, I mean, I see where they're going with it. Obviously, it's by far, by miles, the best tank in PvP, right? Okay, Red. Templar, Divine Exaction, down to 75% from 150% in PvP. But this is a 50, I mean, pretty much 100% nerf, right? 50%. That's crazy. That's a crazy nerf. I mean, you're gonna do 50% less burst, boys. So it's gonna be way harder to score the kill as a Red Paladin now. I mean, at this point, I don't know. I don't even know if this kills the Templar. This is a lot. Like this is huge. This drops Red from S easily down to A tier, no question about it. So this is a pretty juicy nerf. I don't know. I think they went overboard a little bit with this. If it was maybe by to 125, 120 instead of 75, that's more reasonable. But to 75, whew, I don't know. I mean, I've been playing Red Warrior in trees, right? I'm gonna tell you one thing, guys. We, out of, let's say 100 games, we matched maybe 2 games against another Red Warrior. Maybe 30 games against Turbo, which is super meta right now, right? Turbo. Actually, you know, people were complaining so much about Turbo that you would think, oh, it's every game. But it's really not, at least at around 2.2. But the Mage and Rogue were 50% of the games. And the rest of the games were something like Affliction, Assassination Rogue, you know. So the Red is not really or BM, yeah, I forgot about BM. BM is very often too. Red is not really an offender anymore, in my opinion, so I don't really agree with this. Okay, well, what do we have for the Priest? Priest, for the healers, I think Discipline is in a good spot, great. Holy is pretty weak, so it needs some buffs. Shadow, honestly, I've seen it perform really well at higher ratings, but I think it's really bad at low ratings where your healers are, you know, not the best. If you have a really good healer, I think Shadow is actually pretty decent. But we can't really, in my opinion, the game shouldn't be balanced around top, you know, 0.1%. But so, you know, most people can actually enjoy Shadow and play it. So it should get some buffs. Okay. But it's gonna be kind of OP in the higher brackets then. So hard to say. Okay. Priest. Do we have any buffs up there? Okay. So, Flash Heal mana cost reduced by 8%, Benediction mana cost reduced by 8%, Prayer of Mending mana cost reduced by 8%, and Prayer of Healing mana cost reduced by 8%. Beautiful. I like this. Really like this. So Holy won't be getting that easily. Nice. Holy. Arcan. Halo damage and healing increased by 25%. Great. I love Arcan. I love Arcan. This is very nice. I like it. For Shadow, they think Void Weaver is in a good position. Personally, I like Arcan more. So, okay, let's see. Arcan. Halo damage and healing increased by 25% in PvP. Great, I love that. Arcan. Mind Flay damage, Insanity damage increased by 25%. Again, great. I love some Arcan buffs. That's my favorite way of playing a priest. So I'm really happy with this. Could we get something on top of this? Maybe, you know, something slightly. But this is a good start, maybe. Okay. I mean, hopefully we'll have more changes. Okay, Rogue. Assassination and sub changes. Seems it's all for Deathstalker. Now, guys, Rogue has been performing crazy good right now. All 3 specs. Honestly, at this point, I feel like sub is the weakest. Like, I've been playing against rogues a lot, and I'm feeling like sub is actually, at this point, feels the weakest. Like, Assassination is really scary to play against. Outlaw is just pure powerhouse, and sub rogue is just, I don't know, there. Even though it started so good. But now when we have higher gear, higher verse, it's not that scary anymore. Okay? I think it's still really good, but these two feel honestly stronger. So let's see what we have. Deathstalker mark increased by 30%. Clear the Witness now increases Fan of Knives damage by 60% instead of 40%. Hunt them down damage increased by 25%. Corrupt the Blood now increases Rupture damage by 20% instead of 10%. Okay. Darkest Night effect now increases Envenom damage by 35% instead of 30%. That's pretty good buffs for the Deathstalker, guys. Pretty good buffs. Okay, Sub-Rogue. Deathstalker damage increased by 30%. Clear the Witness now increases Shuriken Storm damage by 60% instead of 40%. So pretty decent buffs to the Deathstalker. Now, I don't think Sub is gonna go Deathstalker, but for Assassination, these are big numbers. I mean, it could be a meta change for the Assass. So we will see about that. Okay, Shaman. I really love Enhancement Shaman, but it's been busted as fuck. So we need to bug fix that thing that's doing way too much damage. Outside of that, let's see. Elemental. Can always get some slight buffs. I think it's actually very decent, but it's just slightly overshadowed by the enhancement. For the rest, though, again, 5% buff to healing. Overall, I wouldn't mind at all. It's pretty. That would be nice. Okay, Shaman. Elemental, Farseer. Ancestral Spirit from the Farseer hero talent tree now benefit from the critical damage increase from the Elemental Fury talent. Ooh, okay. It's pretty decent, actually. Okay, Resto. The mana cost of Chain Heal, Healing Wave, and Riptide has been reduced by 5%. Well, I mean, it's gonna come in handy in PvP, obviously, but I think Resto Shaman is, the least likely to get anyway. So, he's never gonna go I guess. Okay, let's see what else do we have. Enhancement. Bloodlust and Heroism from Shamanism now increases haste by 15% instead of 20%. Resolve an issue causing Maelstrom weapons penalty from Tarren invocation during Doomwinds to deal more damage than intended. Okay, I agree with this. This is completely fair. But this, guys, I'm not liking this change, honestly. Like, this is just dumb in my opinion. Like, I don't like this. Like, I would rather to get some nerfs to Enhancement Shaman than this. Like, this is huge. And even fantasy-wise, like, why? I really don't like this change. This is dumb in my opinion. Like, I would rather to get, nerf on abilities actually than this. I don't know. I really don't like this. Bloodlust and Heroism from Shamanism now increases 15% instead of 20 again for the Elemental Shaman as well. God damn. Silence now increases Elemental Overload damage by 10% in PvP instead of 25. Ooh, that's pretty big nerf to burst for Elemental. Lava Burst damage increased by 15% in PvP. Lightning Bolt damage increased by 15% in PvP. So they're nerfing the burst, but you know, outside of the burst is gonna be slightly more DPS, whatever. So okay, I don't know what to think about that. I'm not really into the Shaman changes. Okay, Warrior, Warlock. So Warlock next. What do we have here? Warlock, honestly, Destruction is underperforming. Demolock is, I don't know, after losing that kick, it feels worse to play. But Affliction is super good. Affliction is super good. Like, it's really tanky, it does a lot of damage, and, you know, slight nerf wouldn't be too bad. What do we have here? Hellcaller. Blackens, like, Hellcaller, I agree with. Buffing Hellcaller, I agree completely. Hellcaller, Black and Soul damage increased by 35% PvP. Nice. Wither damage increased by 15% in PvP. Nice. Mark of Xavius now causes Black and Soul to deal 4% increased damage per stack of Wither instead of 2%. Very nice. I like this. Demolock. Hand of Gul'dan damage increased by 30%. That's good. Diabolist. Ruination damage increased by 100% in PvP combat. That's good. I really love Diabolist. So I'm happy with these changes for the lock. Destruction. Incinerate damage increased by 30%. Conflagrate damage increased by 60%. And Diabolist Ruination damage increased by 100%. Okay. Some love to the Destruction, I think, is completely fine. So overall, lock changes are fine, except maybe the Soul Harvester Affliction could maybe get slight nerf. It's really strong, but okay. Okay, we have Warrior for the last. Let's see what we have there. Arms, Colossus, Practice Strike, Mortal, and Slam damage increased by 25% from 15%. Not in PvP though. Fury, Mountain Tane. Okay, before we start, Arms, obviously super insane good right now. Fury is pretty damn bad, I ain't gonna lie. I mean, I don't remember, was it 3-4 days ago when I reached 2.3 as a Fury Warrior? I was literally top 16. And on a 2.4 as an Arms, I'm not even top 100. You know? So yeah, I mean, that says a lot. Fury is pretty garbage. If you when we were around 2.2 and 3s, to be 2.1 as a Fury Warrior, you're literally top 6 on the ladder. Top 6. So we haven't seen a single Fury Warrior in 3v3 ever. So just saying, Fury does need the buff. Fury is really bad right now. Okay, Mountain Tane, Thunder Blast damage increased by 30%, not in PvP. Okay. Protection, Colossal, Practice Strike, Shield Slam damage increased by 25%, was 15%, again, not in PvP. Mountain Tane, Thunder Blast damage increased by 30%, again, not in PvP. So nothing in PvP, no love for the Warrior. And seems like we have some nerfs for the Warrior, which, okay. Berserker roll duration reduced to 5 seconds from 10. This is a huge nerf. This is a huge nerf. Feels bad. It's really big nerf. Okay. But the problem is this nerfs Fury as well. That's the problem. Arms. All damage reduced by 3% in PvP combat. Honestly, I think this is fair, even I'm playing Arms currently. But Fury should get buff at least 5% on everything. And I'm hoping we're not gonna be nerfing Arms more than this. Like 3%, okay, we're gonna take it. But the problem is, guys, yes, Arms is really strong. Yes, it got nerfed. But the problem is, the things that destroy Arms anyway didn't get nerfed. Actually, you know, their off-meta builds got buffed. Like Frost Mage. So, pretty bad patch, I would say. Pretty bad patch. To sum it up, top performers like Frost Mage, like BM Hunter, really good right now. Dev, really good right now. Avoided nerf. Arms got nerfed, which is fair, but again, these guys avoided nerf, so these guys will be the top dogs by far right now. Some specs that are pretty weak right now, for example, Fury Warrior, didn't get any buffs, a big mistake. But then we have at least, you know, some underperformers like Havoc got buffed. But not many underperformers got buffed. For example, Arcane Mage, very underperforming, not buffed, you know. Realistically didn't get buffed. But yeah, overall, okay. You know, so again, good changes. Some were really bad changes again. With you know, the cartel avoiding the nerf. What can you do about it? Nothing, I guess. Hopefully by the end of the season we will see some nerfs to the top performers. Okay, so thank you very much, boys, for watching, and hopefully I see you in the next class tuning soon. Okay, peace out.